Hi, and welcome back to Relationship Facts. My name is Michelle Leving, and once again, I am a relationship coach. Relationship Facts is basically a segment that I put together which describes different terminologies that are used within a relationship and different dynamics of the relationship. You may hear these different terms, whether by family and friends, coaches, therapists, etc., and it just helps you have a better understanding of these dynamics. Today's topic is going to be on the revolving ledger. It's not exactly a very common term that's used, however, it is something that I know I use in my coaching programs. The revolving ledger is something that we all subconsciously build up in our own lives that we pass on to our new partners. It's not something that we're aware of, so it can be a little bit difficult to actually fully define it right away. It's something that you'll kind of understand through life, especially as you've gone through many relationships and you're starting to realize that there's a lot of needs that you're having that are not being met. So let me break it down. Humans are a culmination and a buildup of every life experience that they have had. So as a child, if you've either been abandoned, neglected, abused, loved and cared for, whatever it is, you then take some of that with you and you create a set of needs that you have. So if you're someone who didn't necessarily have very doting parents, you may have some neglect issues, abandonment issues, and then you'll bring that as a need that you expect your partners to fulfill. We all build up this ledger in our lives of things that we think we need. Most of this is very subconscious. We have no idea that we've built up this list. And a lot of times we won't even know what's on that list until time goes on and we start realizing, oh, actually, I need somebody who's very communicative. I need someone who's very affectionate. I need somebody who shows physical acts of kindness, someone who gives me words of affirmation. And this is kind of where love languages come into play, which of course we'll talk about later. But this list of needs that we have, we subconsciously build it based off of a lack that we experience growing up. So a lot of this will come from developmental issues, developmental trauma, things that we realize we never had met by our parents, our caregivers, friends, and loved ones. And so we realize these are things that are extremely important for us. And then we basically get this list. And then when we meet a new potential partner, we'll actually end up handing them this list and expecting them to fulfill all these needs. This is something that they're unaware of, and it's something that we're also unaware of. So it can be a little bit confusing when all of a sudden, we're snapping at them, we're getting angry at them, and why aren't you doing this? Why didn't you talk to me about this before you did it? You can't just take off without talking to me, or you're not as open as I'd like you to be. You're not as affectionate as I need. I'm not hearing enough words of affirmation or compliments as I want. And they're just kind of confused, like, well, I am who I am and this is how I behave and this is how I react. They're not aware that you're basically handing them this ledger saying, this is my list of needs, you need to fill them. And then what ends up happening a lot of times is that if these needs don't actually get met, we then take that list, sometimes we'll add to it, and then go to the next partner and then hand them that list. So say if you went into a relationship where they cheated on you, you now all of a sudden have these insecurities and these fears and these issues that you are now adding to this list that, okay, now you're bringing it to the next relationship and you're expecting them to somehow know that these are your issues and these are your fears, and they have to now fulfill your needs to kind of give you the security, give you the comfort, give you the reassurance that you need. However, it is rather unfair because they don't really owe you that per se. They owe it to you as a human being to be honest and loving and caring. If they love you and they want to be in this relationship, they should put that effort into it. However, it's not up to someone else to fulfill needs that you yourself should be fulfilling for yourself. It's our jobs to make sure that we respect ourselves, that we love ourselves, that we have standards, we have boundaries, and that we are comfortable enough to live in our own skin and to be on our own and be happy. And they should just add to our happiness, not be the source of our happiness. So the revolving ledger is something that can be very difficult, especially when you don't even know what it is, but then you find yourself in a cycle of relationships where you keep going through a lot of the same issues. And you find that you're blaming your current partner for issues that you had with previous partners or issues that you had with your parents. It's obviously something that we need to kind of take stock of in our lives and look back at our history and realize, okay, these are things that I have issues with because of XYZ. What can I do myself to actually fix that? Because, you know, I can't expect and put that burden on partners and think that they have to fulfill all these needs that I have. So hopefully that explains to you what the revolving ledger is. Anyways, if you do have more questions about it or that wasn't really clear, you can definitely leave some comments below and I'll be happy to answer them for you. And if you are interested in these relationship facts, definitely subscribe to my channel. Thanks.